seems everyone is talking about it. Is it taking over? With some countries like Italy and Germany talking about banning AI in all of its forms, and the worry that students are using ChatGPT to cheat, as well as Pearson, an education exam board, having their shares plummet. Grammarly, ChatGPT, Duolingo all use AI software to write or even find spelling mistakes. But how will it impact the future of education? In the UK, there are talks to implement AI into our education system. The Department of Education published a report in March of this year discussing topics of AI. The 8-page document didn't go into specifics, so I reached out and asked for a statement from them. This is what it said.
Just as the invention of the calculator did not eliminate but improve the study of maths, we will need to explore how AI can support teaching, such as automating certain types of marking, personalized learning, and interactive practice tools, as well as addressing its risks. Across the education system, from teaching and learning to assessment and administrative support, this new technology clearly has the potential to improve access, outcomes, and efficiency.
The statement from the Department of Education discussed a pragmatic approach, but I wanted to hear from the people most affected by this. Students.
We came to DMU University to talk to students who may have used ChatGPT in their own coursework and talk about the phenomenon that is spreading across the United Kingdom.
Yeah, I'm Stuart Peters. I work within the media production and film departments at DMU as one of the lecturers.
Have you used ChatGPT before?
Yes, briefly. I guess the most things I've seen is kind of through social media and online and kind of responses in different fields. In terms of kind of more academia, I guess the question mark is how students may then use it, and then, I guess to an extent there's that element with possibly plagiarism.
But have you seen any sort of like ChatGPT in some people's coursework?
Not that I'm aware of, which I guess is then the concern of how do we identify that to an extent. I'm not sure is the honest answer. I guess in kind of institutes, such as universities and things, it'll then be something that's explored. I don't know if there's then, an algorithm or something that can be then used to identify that. Yeah.
My name's Amir. I am the Union Development Executive from the Montfort Students' Union.
So are you aware that some students have been using it in their essays? What does the DSU think about that?
So it's contract cheating. Officially, it's not something you're not allowed to do. It's academic misconduct. That's the same as what the university is. And realistically, you shouldn't be using any sort of AI in your coursework, because it could lead you into an academic offence.
It's useful, I think.
Useful? Yeah, how so?
Well, I do computer science. Whenever I get like an error code, it's easier to just stick that into that and it tells me what's wrong with it specifically.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to Google it and spending hours on one error code.
Yeah. Do you think that's technically sort of like cheating, or what do you think personally about it?
Stuff like that, I don't think it is. When you literally just stick in a question, we can do it for it. That is just like a bit of cheating. But if it's just making something easier,
yeah,
or if it's not just telling you what to do, I think it's fine.
Have you used it for coursework by any chance?
Yeah, definitely.
And how has it helped you in your coursework?
I think it's helped with like structuring the coursework. Not like some people say, oh, it's cheating and things like that. But when you like say you're struggling on a question, like it helps you structure it and know what to put. So it just gives you more idea of what you're doing. I think it helps the education system, if anything.
It's helping more than they are, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like when
I've really in a lot of ways.
Yeah, exactly. When I've really struggled with some coursework, ChatGPT, like it really helps me, like, what sometimes it just helps with breaking down the question, and it's just really good. Yeah.
Would you say that if people are banning ChatGPT, would you say we should probably ban Grammarly and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, if they're all AI, so why does one get banned? And like they're both for learning purposes.
Yeah.
Fred Ray, I work as a software developer. I think my official job title is application developer. So it's something that's obviously really big in my field. It's a thing that a lot of people are really excited about. I think most products that are sold as AI nowadays are largely based around neural networks. In basic terms, you create a set of nodes and iterate them very quickly. So you create a set of nodes and you introduce some randomness and you iterate very quickly. So you do generations. An example would be if you're creating an AI to win at Mario, then your generation 1 would maybe work out that pressing the right button does something and then fall into a hole. But you would use how far along you've got as your metric of success. So then you'd be able to say, okay, that one walked into the hole, that one walked left and got a negative distance. The one that walks into a hole is performing better. So you'd take that as your starting point and build the next generation, which would again be slightly randomized given new features. And then that would perhaps jump every now and then. And gradually you'd end up with, you'd essentially keep iterating until you got to something.
Now we understand how AI works. I now wanted to know how it be implemented in schools. A report done by the online tutoring platform GoStudent has some ideas. They asked children from across the UK and Europe what they wanted to learn and what they thought about their future in education. The resounding answer was, "We want AI." We also received a statement from GoStudent. It read,
AI is incredibly important to the education sector and something that we at GoStudent believe can really improve the industry. Using this kind of technology in education can save teachers time by generating lesson plans from the set curriculum. For the students themselves, AI offers a support system for standard, traditional subjects and can be a powerful learning tool. While testing you on a subject, for example, it can identify your weaker areas and adapt to bring these up more often, or question you on them at the time of day you're the most efficient learner.
I wanted to get a teacher's perspective, so I spoke to Professor Adam Fisher, Philosopher of Education at Nottingham University.
Actually, last paper was on AI and teaching and replacing teachers with AI. And I've got a general interest in this space.
Is AI a threat to the education system?
Yes. Next question. Absolutely. If you don't think it is, then you're not paying attention. The perfect storm to sort of unpick and throw education into an existential tailspin is the massification of higher education. If you think education's about getting marks and being assessed and getting an outcome like a degree, if you think that's what education's about, education's dead, I think. It will happen. We either embrace it, and that would require a massive wholesale change, massive, more than anyone's clocked on. And I swim in circles of senior leaders across the sector. People just don't get it. Either we do it like that, or it just goes on anyway, and we sort of play this sort of wink game. Like, oh yeah, we're educating you, really? Not really. Yes, we are. This is a really valuable degree still. Not really. I can imagine that happening because the education sector is very slow to change, especially higher education. It's a bit like an oil tanker. It just takes ages to turn anywhere. It's not agile.
Would you see that there's a benefit to using AI? Do you think AI could help in education in
Absolutely.
any way?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm dyslexic, and when I went to university, I had a reading age of 9, and I would have loved it. And I use it all the time. I use it pretty much every day for writing emails. I'm talking about ChatGPT now, right?
Yeah.
But plug in anything, your favourite Bard or whatever. I use it all the time, and I'm more confident in my grammar, my spelling, and not using the wrong there or whatever it is. Absolutely, it's going to be it will be I think a lifesaver's too strong, but it's a very, very, very important for accessibility. I asked a panel of experts whether they thought it was possible. This was about 3 or 4 years ago, and they said, no, it's not possible. And I was like, well, why? Well, it can't do X. Well, it can do X. Yeah, can't do Y. Well, there's nothing in principle saying it can't do Y. You talk to people and they say things like, but in person's much better. Okay, say, okay, right, why? Okay, well, we can get that. Okay, well, it's to do with reading faces. Well, the technology already does that. I mean, in China, you have, as an example, I have classrooms where you have facial recognition in classrooms. You can tell when students aren't paying attention or sad or whatever.
ChatGPT and AI is here to stay, but it is down to the government if it is used to its fullest potential within the education system.